Hi, my name is Helbert Bello. I am an enterprise software specialist. And on today's video, I want to discuss with you a little bit about process mapping versus requirements gathering in an evaluation and selection for enterprise software. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Helbert Bello. I'm an enterprise software selection specialist. And on today's video, I want to share with you a little bit of my experience when it comes to evaluating and selecting enterprise software. And there is a common, I wouldn't say mistake, but there is a misunderstanding, let's put it this way, in the market when it comes to utilizing process mapping versus requirements when you do a software comparison for the purpose of evaluating and selecting. So I want to explore those two ideas with you and share my experience, because we've been talking with many clients over the years, and I've been in the industry for 17 plus years. And most of the times when I'm talking to clients, they mistakenly think that they can simply get to their process maps to have any use of it to make a comparison between solution A and B. The truth is that, and just think of that for a moment, if you send to any vendor or vendors your process maps and ask them, hey, do you have a solution for the processes I have, the probability that you will get a reply with yes and many yeses is 100%. Because vendors, are, let's say, in line with what's needed in the market. So many vendors have very comprehensive software solutions. And let's say you are looking for an ERP solution, an enterprise resource planning solution. And when you send to these vendors, let's say vendor A, B, and C, your process maps, you know, those flows of processes where you have this process in area A flowing to area B and then comes back to area A, then triggers something to area C, you know, those lanes and decision points. When you have those process maps and you send it to a vendor, the truth is that most of these vendors, they have solutions for what you're looking for. Most of the ERP vendors out there, they have solutions for. But what is really at stake here? What's really at stake is that you want to know how these vendors comply with what you do and the way you do things. So let's say you send this to a vendor A, B, and C, and you ask, hey, do you do warehousing? They will all say, yes, I do. Do you have inventory? Yes, I do. I have a module for inventory. Do you do sales? Yes, of course. Do you have purchasing? Yes. You have finance? Yes. And then even if you go deeper, like let's say in finance, you ask them, oh, do you have accounts payable? Do you have accounts receivable? Yes, I do. Of course. Do you have a general ledger? Yes. So vendors can easily reply to your process maps by saying, yes, we deliver 100% what you're looking for. But as I said before, you want to have some criteria to rule which vendor is best. So in order to create that set of criteria, you need to deep dive into your processes. You need to interview your end users to gather requirements. And by gathering those requirements, you need to specify them. You need to be specific. So let's say we're talking to a purchaser, the purchaser says to you, well, everything starts here with a purchase requisition. So let's say manufacturing needs to buy inventory, and we need to buy we need supplies. And Then let's say you are a household products manufacturer and you deal with chemicals. Okay, so in this case, your purchase requisition is different than a purchase requisition from a vendor that is in discrete manufacturing that produces, I don't know, bicycles or produce cars or ovens. I don't know. In your case, if you are in the process manufacturing business, your purchase requisition entails that you inform everything and you specify in your purchase requisition everything about the characteristics of the supply you want. Let's say maybe it's a supply that changes over time, its qualities and its characteristics, and it has a certain volume at a certain temperature. Very different than a supply when we're talking about discrete manufacturing, where you have something that won't change much its characteristics over time because it's built to connect to another piece, and then you can put those two together in a perfect fitment. And based on the releases you have for discrete manufacturing, you can then assemble a product. So it's different. So if you ask only to the vendors if they have purchase requisition, the process of purchase requisition, they will say yes. But if you specify that actually you need information about volume, temperature, about when it's about to expire, it becomes different. It becomes totally different. The purchase requisition for a process manufacturing is different than a purchase requisition for a discrete manufacturing. And let's say you weren't aware of it and you just sent out your process maps and you said, well, listen, if you have it, purchase requisition, I'm all up for, seeing your system and perhaps I'll buy it. But the problem will be that maybe you will buy a very good discrete manufacturing ERP, and you will simply dismiss a very good mixed mode or process manufacturing ERP provider. So what you want to do in the end is to have a ruler of all the requirements you have based on your processes. Of course, you got to know your processes, and with knowing your processes and interviewing the people that do the job every day, you can get to specify those requirements. Then you have criteria to do a comparison. And then at the end, you can say, well, you know what? This vendor B right here, it's good, but it's not for us. It's for the discrete manufacturing. And this vendor A is actually the right one, has the right fitment to our company, to our business, to our processes, because it's proven by the requirements. Of course, this is an oversimplification of the whole process of evaluating and selecting an ERP, but it gives you a perspective and a simple perspective of what you should focus on when you are doing evaluation and selection. Now, on the other hand, I'm not against of mapping out processes or understanding the flow of the processes across the areas and having those process maps. I feel that this is important, and then you should have it, but only for the sake of doing an evaluation and selection. I would say you should repurpose your time and repurpose your focus. Instead of jumping into process mapping, jump into interviewing and doing requirements gathering. That will be more of a use for you in terms of comparison and criteria to evaluate systems side by side. With that said, it's not bad if you have those processes mapped out. It can help you understand your company, understand better where you should start, and what kind of what areas you should include in this evaluation and selection. But I would say it's not crucial and it's not mandatory that you have your processes mapped out before you do requirements gathering. We've been doing this for 17 plus years, and I would say 60 to 70% of the companies that I work with, they don't have mapped out their processes. And they always start by asking us, oh, should we do the process map first? I said, no. By talking with your end users about their processes, of course, we will pass by how they do things. We will listen to their processes, but I'm gathering requirements while I do it. To focus ourselves into mapping out those processes is something that can be done, but it has a lesser value to evaluating and selecting ERP systems than requirements. So I would like to say that if you have it, good. If you don't have it and you are looking forward to do evaluation and selection, you don't need to map out the processes. Oh, but what about getting to know my company, getting to know the areas I should include? Well, that's interesting too. You maybe can do a mapping of your macro processes. So let's say I can identify that I need to interview for requirements gathering the warehouse, and within warehouse, we have picking, packing, shipping, and I got to interview people in sales, and in sales, we have people doing farming sales, and then we have people that do their hunting. So it's a different kind set of requirements they will have because it's different type of sales processes. And within, I don't know, manufacturing, we have this, we have that. We have mixed mode. So part of our processes is related to, doing packaging, and part of our process is doing the formulas for our household products. So I would say it is interesting that you have a bigger picture and you have the idea of the areas you should include in your requirements gathering, but you don't need to go too deep into mapping out your processes to the level of creating all the lanes and identifying all the intricacies and relationship between areas, among the areas, because what you really want to focus on doing evaluation and selection of enterprise software is to have requirements, because requirements are your criteria for evaluation and so. So finally, as a final message, I would say if you feel like, oh, but I don't know exactly how to write down requirements, I don't know how to do this thing, you can ask for help for consultants like me. We've been doing this for 17 plus years. We have some experience in doing it. Usually, that's another important information. Usually, let's say this process I utilized before as an example, purchasing and purchase requisition and purchase orders. These are areas where you will find hundreds of requirements. And if you are a small size company, you can get to the level of 1,000 or 2,000 requirements. If you're a mid-sized company, you will probably be ranging on 5,000 to 10,000 requirements. And if you're a bigger company with many areas to include and many businesses, sometimes and different businesses, like a holding company that has, all sorts of businesses, you will be looking over 12,000, 15,000 requirements at least. And it takes time to be done. It needs to entails that you interview people, that you talk to them, and that you have clarity in what you need and what the system needs to do to comply with your needs. So requirements are specific. There are several types of requirements. I'm not in this video exploring what types of requirements there are out there, but you can research and you will find. Maybe we can do a different video, another video just talking about the types of requirements, or even about how to specify them and be specific in what you need with the requirements. But the message for today is to say one versus the other. I would say go with the requirements that are more important for your evaluation. And if you need some help, reach out to us. And by the way, I want to ensure that you like and subscribe, because it's that is keeping me doing these videos. This is the first video, more hands-on, more sharing experiences with you and some techniques as well. So I want to read your comments. I want to see what I can do, to get to better videos for you, that I can be of use for you, that I can be at your service. So please like and subscribe and leave your comment in the comment sections below. And I will be reading every comment, see what I can do next. Okay? Thank you very much.